and welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to go over our year in review, our 2024 to 2025 year in review. What worked, what didn't work, just give you a little idea of what worked and the things that I think I'm going to scrap next year and try something new. So yeah, I'm looking forward to sharing with you all what I have here. Tried and true things, I'm not even going to show them, but I will link them down below. We used Reason for Spelling, which we've enjoyed since my oldest was in like kindergarten. We enjoy Reason for Handwriting, which is obviously the same company. Also been using that since my oldest was in kindergarten. And then the other thing we've been using for years, ever since like my oldest was like 3rd or 4th grade, is Teaching Textbooks. I just love that has an option where if they miss a problem, they can go and see what they might have, maybe they missed a step or where they went wrong. I like that has an option. I don't think all my kids utilize that, but I know like my 10th grader who's going to be 11th, that he uses that. He told me yesterday. It's like, I use that all the time and it really helps. And so hopefully my other kids get better at using that, because that's how you learn. You learn from your mistakes sometimes. So yeah. So Teaching Textbooks, Reason for Spelling, Reason for Handwriting. Those are 3 things that we have like just stuck with. Up until since Teaching Textbooks doesn't start until 3rd grade, I have used Masterbooks, and I feel like that has been like, for me personally, just the easiest for me to do with my kids. So I like their math up to 2nd grade, and then my 2 that are in 2nd grade actually get to do computer math next year for Teaching Textbooks, and they're super excited because they don't normally get to use the computer. So yeah, so I've used that. I think I used Horizons with my oldest too, and it worked fine. I just think I liked Masterbooks more. And then I think I used something else, but I can't remember what it was, for one of my other kids, and I was like, I don't really like this, so we're not going to use it. So we're not going to use it again anyway. So yeah, so Masterbooks up until, Teaching Textbooks kicks in, and then yeah. So I'm going to first talk about language arts. So language arts, I've been using Language Lessons for Living Education. This is my 10th grader. His name's Asa. He, honestly, I feel like it, okay, so first off, I do like Language Lessons for Living Education. I like it up until probably about high school, honestly. I feel like it's a good introduction to writing and grammar and reading comprehension a bit. So that has been like really helpful for like my elementary age kids. I feel like it's a good starting point. And then also like into like middle school, I feel like it's pretty good. But middle school, it's kind of like, I don't know. I feel like they're starting to get bored, because every year it's basically the same thing, just repeated every year. Like the lessons line up with each other. I was noticing that with my younger kids. I was like, oh, they're studying the same thing this week, just a little more complex. So it's basically just the same thing, just a little more difficulty added each year, maybe a little more writing, maybe just like another extra like bit of information in there. So it just gets a little more complex each year. So here's the reason I don't like it for high school. My main thing is I feel like there are writing assignments that they can do, yes, but I feel like my kids are more into like creative writing, and I feel like it also gets a little too complex in high school with some of the like parts of speech. Like obviously, parts of speech important. Knowing how to have now subject and verb agreement, super important. But I feel like it just like starts to get college prep level. Especially I was noticing that with 10th grade. I was like, I didn't even learn this stuff in high school. Granted, you know, I expect some homeschool stuff to be a little more difficult to some degree to public school. No offense, but some stuff will be a little tough unless you take like, you know, like an AP class, which I never did take AP because when I was in school, I basically did the bare minimum because I was a lazy student. I didn't really care, but I wish I would have done better because I probably would have like actually cared more, because I probably would have been like an honor student had I actually cared. I was like just below being an honor student. But I was a procrastinator. But anyway, I just feel like it got to a point where it was like overwhelming him. So next year he will be doing American literature, which I feel like my kids should probably do each year. Well, each of them, not each year, but each of them should do in high school at some point anyway. So I'm like, dude, I can tell you did not like language lessons for a living education this year. So we'll do something else. And I laid out some options. I'm like, I already have American literature from Master Books. I could go grab that real quick. Okay, where is it? This one. I already have it. See, I already have a copy of American literature from Master Books, and I have the teacher's manual that'll have all his assignments in it. So I think he just really wanted to try this as something different, and I do think American literature is probably a good, important thing to have in your high school at some point. So that's what he's going to be doing. I did like, the one thing I do like about the high school language lessons for a living education is that they have a book that goes along with it. 10th grade, I think they're actually coming, if they haven't already, they're coming out with, I think, an 11th grade one this year. So it would have worked out because they only went up to 10th grade. So they're coming out with an 11th grade one, I believe, this year. So it would have worked out for my son to just keep going with it, but we're just tired of it and just want to move on. So the one thing I do like that I think this only lasted half a year. So like the first semester, I do like that he had to read The Life of Washington, just because, you know, Washington's like super important founding father of our nation. So I do really like that they had him read through that and have some assignments on that. But yeah, like I said, it only lasted like half a year. The other thing I like is that my ninth grade language lessons for a living education had him go through Pilgrim's Progress. It's kind of updated version, like it's not super old English. It does have some like weird ways that things are worded or words that we don't really use anymore, that have been kind of like lost. But I do think this is a very important book for all Christians to read. So I liked that I had that opportunity for him to go through this, because it's about, you know, the Christian life and the struggles, and it's a classic. So definitely liked that about the ninth grade one. But my ninth grader, again, it overwhelmed him. So we're going to be trying something different. I still haven't ordered what I'm getting for him and for his younger siblings. I'm pretty sure I know what I want to get at this point, and I will share that in the future once I get it. I'm going to do an unboxing video of our other stuff that's all Master Book stuff first, and then once I order the other stuff, I'll do a whole separate video for a language arts curriculum. Okay, so my 10th grader is really into how things work. That is why I bought this. I know if you've watched the video of me unboxing stuff last year, you know about this. Is it that he's into engineering. So he is actually thinking about going on to school for mechanical engineering, I think at this point. He was either thinking electrical or mechanical. He's not fully decided yet, but he's leaning toward mechanical because he feels like it's a little more complex, like there's more aspects. He's been researching it. He's like, you have to learn like all sorts of things, different aspects of engineering with mechanical engineering because of how many applications there are for mechanical engineering. But anyway, so I got him applied engineering. There's 3 books that go along with it that he works his way through. The first one, I believe, was Discovery of Design, and then these 2 were both done in the second semester at the same time. So he really enjoyed it. It's pretty cool to know how like things in nature inspired design for things and like engineering design for things. Just how like, oh, that works really well in nature. Let's try to figure out how we can apply that to a use that, you know, people can use. Like, honestly, like he probably, at some point, he probably went over Velcro and how that's designed after bird feathers. So, well, birds have feathers, so that's kind of redundant that I said bird feathers. Feathers. But yeah, so he probably learned about that at some point. I know he learned about like, I'm trying to think. I'm going blank all of a sudden. Just all sorts of cool things in here about how like nature was used to inspire design. So I think he really enjoyed it. He did well with it. So I feel like how well my kids do in a subject is reflective of like their interest and if they, you know, enjoy it. So yeah. So I highly recommend this if you have a kid that's got more of an engineering design mind. So definitely check this out. It's suggested for grades 7th through 9th. He was 10th, but I figured, you know, I kind of missed out and he's into that sort of thing. So I feel like it was still age appropriate even for 10th grade. So it's good. And then I probably should have thought to do this along with American literature, because I think that's what I did with my other kids. They did American literature and American history in the same year. But yeah, so this one is really good. We've really enjoyed it. I feel like the worksheets are pretty easy because most of them are just fill in the blank or true and false. Most of them. There are some writing assignments, which is good because it's good to get better at writing and to grow in critical thinking and writing skills. So yeah, I highly recommend this. I've used it for 3 kids now. At some point, I'm assuming they'll update it because I think it only goes up to, I'm trying to remember what the last thing is that it kind of covers. The last thing it really covers is population rates, I think. So I think I'll tell you like what year this was published because I feel like you always have to update. Like history is one of those things that gets updated pretty often, especially if there's been major events. But the publication date on this, I'm not finding it. Usually it's like, you know, when things are published is right in the front. 2020. So it's been like 5 years. So at some point, I have a feeling it's going to have to be revised yet again because, you know, 2020 was kind of a crazy year. So it definitely needs to be revised. So that was basically it for my high school student, the literature. And then he did teaching textbooks for math. And he did the engineering, applied engineering for his science. And then his language arts was the language lessons for a living education. So we got I think we got all the bases covered. There's probably something else in there. But yeah, anyway, elementary age and also some of the stuff I also had. Okay, I'll just talk about it. So the thing I like about master books is their science has like a kind of a wide range. It's 4 through 6 for this. And what I've been doing is I've been kind of like consulting my kids. I'm like, hey, what do you want to learn about this year? These are your options. 2023 to 2024, it was dinosaurs. We chose to do paleontology and it was really good. I think they really enjoyed it. But this year we did elementary zoology. There's lots of books. The problem, but it's also a good thing. The problem with this is that it is such a wide age range, 4 through 6. There's a lot of learning that goes on in between there. So there's kind of like some worksheets in here that are like way too easy. They're just like color this page, or there's ones where, here, I'll show you, where it's like do the super simple dot to dot that my probably second grader could do, and then trace the words. So I feel like that is a little too, I feel like that's too easy even for a fourth grader, honestly, because I do have one that was fourth grade and it was easy for her. But then the other thing is some of the worksheets take a little more effort, because on this opposite side, they have to look up and write the scriptures for day 5 and 6 in here, or they could like draw a picture. And then they also have to write which day each animal was created, which I think is pretty easy for kids who understand, you know, birds, like flying creatures and swimming creatures were day 5. And then anything that like lived exclusively on land was day 6. So it's pretty easy. But at the same time, it's more work that I don't know fully if a fourth grader, third grader, fourth grader would like it. And then this can be like, for each animal, describe your favorite design feature, which can be kind of a lot for a fourth grader too. But yeah. And then again, like some of the worksheets are really simple. So it's good that it's good for a wide age range, especially if you want to simplify things in your homeschool life and not have to have like multiple levels that you're teaching, and you just want to like, let's just do science as a family. That is why I did this, was so that we could do it as a big group. I think I even had my 9th grader do it with us, just because, just to keep it simple. But yeah, so he did that with us. And then I had my 4th through 9th grade do it with us, just because it's way more simple to do it that way, to do a big group. So that is what I like about Masterbooks Science, is we kind of just pick, what do you want to learn about this year? And then since it's such a wide age range, and we just do it together as a family. So it's been really, really good. But yeah, now you know what I think are the downsides of that though. Because that is a caveat with having like a wide age range. You're going to have some worksheets that are too hard for the younger kids, or just too much work for the younger kids, or too easy even. Okay, and then what we did this year, if you saw the unboxing video, you know the previous year I mentioned how we did elementary geography and cultures, but it was the US. We did United States geography. So this year I decided, 2024-2025 school year, I wanted to do the culture, geography and cultures of the world. I thought that would be really, really good to do. And my kids, I think, really enjoyed it. But here's the thing, I get kind of lazy. And not necessarily lazy. I just forget. I get busy. So I forget that each country worksheet, almost every country worksheet, had a meal or something, or food or something that they wanted you to try. Like one was just like rice, make a meal with rice for Japan. And one I think was like tea. which is really easy, but a lot of these have like recipes where you need ingredients. So you have to plan ahead. And I usually go grocery shopping 2 weeks at a time. It's every other week type thing. And so like I kept forgetting to get ingredients to make stuff, which would be super, super fun because my kids actually do enjoy cooking and sometimes ask if they can make a meal when I'm meal planning. So it would have been really fun had I remembered to do that. But no, these are pretty easy. Like you fill in the answers and you can like, it's not a quiz. So they could just like, you know, look at the book that we read that week and fill in the blanks. Pretty simple. The only thing they didn't like was quizzes because I didn't give them enough time to study typically. That's my fault. And so it kind of stressed them out. Like my kids, they don't like tests. They get a lot of my kids get testing anxiety. So that can be kind of a pain, but they did pretty well for having a limited amount of time to study. But yeah, the worksheets are all basically kind of like the same format for every single country. Except like this one was like the only one that was different. It was like France and Canada. Like what's the difference? Like what is the capital city of France or Canada? How do you say hello? How do you say hello? This, it's almost like they fit 2 countries onto one worksheet that time. But yeah, so every worksheet, I'll show you an example. So Armenia, they just have like all the questions on one side. And then on the back side, they're supposed to color the flag. And then there's a recipe. So that's the basic setup for every single country in here. And then this one is Japan, and that's the one where they don't give you a recipe, but they tell you to have your favorite stir-fry veggie, chicken or steak with your teacher, and add some ginger. Specifically, add ginger to, this is for Bangladesh. I thought it was Japan for a second because of the circle, but no, it's Bangladesh. But, or Bangladesh, however you pronounce it. But yeah, so stir-fry with ginger for that week. So that week didn't have, obviously, a full recipe. So, yeah, it's just, if you do this one, which I loved it personally because I feel like we learned a lot, but you just have to remember to plan ahead, which I did not do. So, yeah. And, oh, the one thing I did forget, I wanted to show you some books. So this was one of the books we went through for the zoology that I went through with the elementary. And I like, it has like a devotional section in the beginning. Yeah, so it has like little devotionals. And then in the back, and then it has broken down into sections. And I like that there's a lot of like fun, like good pictures of the animals and stuff in here. And then in the back, there's like some flashcards. We'll see if I can open this real quick. There's some flashcards. And it gives you like animal facts on those flashcards. And then there's bingo, ocean bingo, and ocean zones card, as well as some other cards in there. But yeah, I like that it has like this little pocket of extra goodies in there. So yeah, this was a really good book. All the books, honestly, that came with zoology, I really enjoyed. And then the first book we went through for the first semester in the elementary geography and cultures of the world was Passport to the World. I wasn't able to get extra passports. They give you a little passport in the pocket in the front, and you can put stamp, like a little sticker in it. They even have a spot for a photo for your kid in the front, right there, if you can see that. And then they also just have it set up like a real passport where you can like, okay, here you go. You can put like a little sticker in there. But I, for some reason, was having difficulty ordering extra passports, so we just didn't do that. Little, like, because they make it so that you can buy them. If you own the curriculum, you can buy extra ones. But I was trying and I couldn't do it for some reason and I just gave up. But yeah, so it's got like a map on your journey, your language. It tells you all the languages, and then history of languages. And then I like how these are laid out. Lots of pictures, shows you where the shape of the country and the surrounding area, tells you population, life expectancy, literacy, how many people use the internet code, and their money. And then it has like a little greeting, and then it gives you some basic words in their main language. And then it gives you a proverb, tells you about like a fruit and stuff, and then just some facts. But very colorful pictures and everything. We really enjoyed it. So, and the book we went through the second half of the year was just as good. So yeah, I think that will do it for me today. Hopefully that gives you some ideas of things to maybe look into. Some of you may actually like the high school language lessons for a living education, because some of your kids may be more at that place, like mindset wise. It's just my kids are not huge formulaic, I guess, writing people. They're just like, would rather just come up with a creative story and write it out instead of having to think about like, okay, let's think about how we can add a preposition and break this sentence down and figure out, I don't know. It's just like stuff that, more than just prepositions, there's just like really difficult stuff in there that I'm like, I don't even think I learned this in school. So, yeah, it was just a little overwhelming for us personally, but I do like the books that they have you read along with it. So you could always, I guess, just read those books as an addition without having to do the literature part of it. But anyway, that'll do it for me today. I hope next video will be an unboxing of the Masterbook stuff that I have for next year. And I'm really excited about it. So I hope you all come back and see that once that's released. But that'll do it for me today. And I will see you all next time.